crap, I forgot to move my microphone. Alright, we're live. And let's see. Let me do a little fix here because I am dumb and I forgot to fix this before the stream. So I had this cut off. So Control Alt Control. Oh my god, I forgot how to do it. Whatever, I'll fix it. It's like this. No. Okay, never mind. It's not going to get fixed. So this part, where it's like this side's all cut off when I do the small screens, because originally the green screen did not fit the entire room area. So we cut that off to fix that. But then I got another green screen that was smaller, and I broke it the first try. So I got a third green screen. This one finally works, that I will eventually at some point figure out how to use. Maybe like in like 6 weeks or something like that. So that made this chair so damn squeaky. Here we go. All right. So man, there's been like a lot of stuff. Like originally, like that. I didn't have this last time, so it's not on camera. I guess it's not that bad. How's my day been? Control Alt. Didn't I do that? Let me click here with this. Control Alt. There we go. Okay, that worked. When you type my name in, Brittany being a boomer here, you have to put the name like together. Usually, like it shows up in chat, and then you click on it. I'm surprised black showed up so well on the screen. I've been told not to wear black. All right, so let's get into some of this stuff. Where's my nice little folder? And, well, geez, isn't just everybody so tired of this, where it's like, at some point, oh, I got to switch over my headphones. Also, at some point, I will have a streaming checklist and be responsible, but apparently that day is not today. Oh, thank you. Battle Rose, thank you for the $50 super chat. You're awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. You provide insight and values just like other channels. That bash just like some other channel. All right. Think before you exercise. I'm not exercising today. I woke up sick today, and well, was going to exercise after the stream, but there's no way. I even coffeed up, and there's still no way I'm going to work out today. So I'll probably do it tomorrow. Merry Christmas. It's like March. Millennial smart. That's supposed to be a word. Do you consider yourself a conservative? That's a hard question. I certainly don't align that well with both political parties, as both of them seem to be assholes, like in general. I'm aligned more with people. So I've just found that there's very, very few people who are in politics who are not assholes, and I tend to be very disgusted by the mainstream on both sides. Okay. Yeah, my mental fog and delay is partially me being sick. Might as well just get into the video. So this is one that was trending on yeah, you can already see it. Let me move out of the way for a second. This one was trending on Twitter a couple weeks ago, and I remembered I had saved it because this has been deleted from cut when we watched the video. It's going to be for obvious reasons. But I was smart and saved this a long, long time ago because I was going to do a video on it. Actually, it was supposed to be in the cut video where they did the. Let me throw this up here. The cut video where they did the who wins $1,000, and it just turns into like a victimhood racism battle. That would be wrong video. It would be this video here. It was supposed to be in this video here, but I lost it, and I found it in a different folder, way into my external hard drive. So anyway, that's wrong. There we go. That's what I want. Jared Leto, what does he have to do with this? Is my hair soft? I don't know. Yeah, sort of. I thought he was just a photo of a city. Well, sometimes I'm a photo of a city. I wonder how long it's going to be before people have realized that I face reveal that I'm an actual person, because it's been like, was this like the 7th stream or something like that? How many streams has it been? Let's take a look. Live. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, this is the 8th one. Like, I watched a video from Emi Richu, I think is the Asian girl who does like the drawing videos or whatever. Like, she does like those, like, I draw a couple faces and talk about like a story time. And I think she had face revealed like a crap load of times, and people were still asking what she looked like. You look nothing like you sound. Everybody says they thought I was Asian. Krog says, "Are you happy?" Yes, I am happy. In a very monotone sound. Anyway, let's start with this. This video actually doesn't start out with that much racism. It's just like the small bits, and then we get more into it later. Do I need to stay up here? We'll see.
What are white people superior at?
Oh, well,
What exactly are white people superior at?
oh, well, according to television, everything. A white man could fly. Even a white woman, she could be 4'1". She knew karate. She could take down 15 people.
Okay, that wasn't racist. That is 100% true. I don't like it when they have, like, any movies where, like, one person takes out 4,000 people is unrealistic. I did martial arts a long, long time ago, and we tried to do fights with 2 people, and even in the case where, like, one person was vastly more experienced than the other 2 people fighting them, it was, like, impossible to fight 2 people at the same time. So I really hate it when they do that in movies. Unless, I mean, I guess if they're firearms, oh no, they always do that wrong with firearms too, where they're like running through a crowd out in the open and just murdering every bad guy. Like, those are very, very unrealistic scenes. Typically, if you're going to do something like that, you're going to be behind cover, not running out in the open where you're really, really easy to hit. John Wick does that? Oh, well, I haven't seen John Wick yet, after a stunning recommendation from Gary and the whole F&T group. We probably are going to watch it. It's like, was it the only movie that's not a superhero? Well, it's sort of a superhero movie, isn't it? That's been created in the past 5 years. It's like, finally, can we have actual movies? Like, when's the next movie, like the Terminal, going to get made or something like that? Something that's just not about fighting. There are other experiences that people can have. They also make firearms that have infinite ammo. That's true. Or they do that like video game thing where you can reload with half the clip and you retain all your bullets. Oh no, I said clip when I meant magazine. People are going to freak out about that for no reason. Anyway.
What are white people superior at?
Man.
I think that first person was laughing at the question because it's kind of racist. Like this was just like, oh, that's a bad place to pause. This was just bad design. Another bad place to pause. I paused it for like 1 frame. Can someone actually tell me the real difference between clip and magazine, other than the fact that people just like to say magazine when people say clip?
Oh, God.
That person just thinks it's racist.
What are white people superior at?
They just keep talking, mostly about their pets.
White people love their dogs. Like, that's all you see.
Cats, letting them get on your countertops while you're cooking.
Yeah, Brittany, I'm looking at you when you do that. Cats on the countertop, that's a big no-no. I had cats when I was a kid. They were not allowed on the countertops, especially after going in that litter box.
Yes.
I get that you love your pet, but like, you need to take it everywhere, like everywhere. I guess, you know, hey, emotional support animals, I guess.
What exactly are white people superior?
Like, would you allow a dog on the countertop? I don't think so. Some people would, probably.
Fuck, man, like making cereal.
Casserole.
Is that a thing that's hard to do?
What kind of casserole?
Tuna. It's always tuna. What do you mean? It's always tuna.
Using mayonnaise in a lot of their recipes.
That's 100% true.
Making bland food.
That's also fairly true. Actually, I wish we could find this TikTok, but Brittany showed me a TikTok like a couple weeks ago, maybe like 2 months ago or something like that, where it's talking about like white people don't put flavor in their foods, but they're really, really, really good at baking. And we just looked at each other at that point. I was like, shit, that might be true, because the only cooking I really know well is baking, and the only cooking she really knows well is like making like actual food. No, I don't want to talk how I eat my chicken completely plain, because it's a lot easier when I'm trying to do bulking stuff. Green screen situation. People are so into this green screen. I'm actually going to put a second, when I finally figure this stupid crap out, I'm going to put a second green screen behind the green screen, just for old time's sake. Anyway. Getting sunburns.
Chicken. How are you gonna start whole spice wars and don't even use seasoning on your food? I mean,
yeah. To be clear, Brittany started adding the seasoning on all the food. I was fine with a lot less of it, but the food does taste better.
Come on.
NyQuil chicken.
What exactly are white people superior at?
Smelling funky.
Okay, that was a little racist.
Santa Claus. Extreme.
Do black people not do Santa Claus? That was something people brought up, was like, you're gonna, with the whole like children and medical procedures to psychological medical procedures for the trans staff, is like, you're gonna have kids do like stuff like that when they still believe in Santa Claus. You're gonna tell me that kids can't easily be led to believe certain things? Yeah, the racism hasn't started yet. The racism starts in about another minute. Like there's a lot going on here.
Water sports. Corn mazes.
White people are great at having fun. That's a function
Like that sounded okay, right?
of white supremacy, because they just don't have as many stresses as we do.
White.
That's like the biggest, like, why is this over here? It should be like over there. The biggest like problem with like all the woke people and all the radicals, all the radical people are like, my problem worse than your problem, therefore I'm more valid. And it's like, can we, like, if someone got assaulted by being punched in the stomach or versus like being punched in the face, can we just say that both assaults are bad? Or do we have to like constantly have a pissing contest of whose situation's worse? Marco Arazia? Oh God. Sorry. $2 super chat. John Wick 1 was good, semi-real. The rest are mid. I hear it becomes like a complete like fantasy superhero movie after the first one, which is like, well, where else are they gonna go? Why not just go there? I'm sure it'll be like every anime arc where it's like these people are normal in episode 1, and then like by episode 50 they're flying around shooting laser beams that can blow up the sun and crap like that. Anime needs to power cap a lot more. The Last Man, I was 5, whatever those are. I'll call them C dollars. What's your ethnicity / religion? I am half Ukrainian, therefore I'm an oppressed class, and half Italian. The Ninth Person Man, $10 super chat. Clips are derived from technology of stripper clips. They were developed in the late 1800s with the intention of being used as internal magazines for semi-automatic rifles. I paid $10 for this. Thank you. Well, hopefully I did that comment justice. Breaks in Gaming, $5 super chat. Hello, love your content. I'm going to Comic-Con tomorrow. I'm thinking San Diego Comic-Con. I'm socially autistic and want to socialize anymore. Well, talk to people at the Comic-Con. Talk to as many people as you can. I'm sure you'll find at least one. And have like a goal. Walk in there with like a goal to talk to one person every day, or that you're there, or one person every couple of hours. And just small things like that will turn into better social skills.
People are very superior at their privilege and utilizing it. We do not have the privilege to do whatever and however we want to.
What does that mean? Like nobody can do whatever they want or however they want to? There's always like some sort of limitation there? I guess just being born a certain race gives you superpowers.
Exactly what white people are superior at?
Not getting arrested.
You know, that might be true. I think a part of it is like there's not enough education everywhere. Oh Jesus, it's kind of loud. Not enough education everywhere of like, if you get pulled over, say absolutely nothing to cops. Never ever talk to cops ever. You give extremely short answers. They ask you, do you know why I pulled you over? The answer should be no, because you should never know why they pulled you over. Like they could have pulled you over for like, of course you might have been speeding or you might have ran a red light, but you don't know if that's why they pulled you over. So when you say no, you're not technically lying to that. So you say absolutely nothing to cops. So you don't yell at them. You don't try to educate them about the law. And if there's any malpractice or It's a malpractice work for cops. If there's any bad behavior going on, I'll of course film it and then hire a good lawyer and deal with that crap in court. Like, I think a lot of these people get in trouble with the cops or have these escalated interactions because they start saying shit. Do not say shit when you get pulled over or with any police interaction. You have the right to remain silent. You should use it. And you have the right to not be searched, by the way. And you always have to, I would say that out loud, I do not consent to searches or seizures. They might still search and seize your crap, but they will get in trouble for that in court if you have a decent lawyer. Anyway. So maybe certain communities are lacking that knowledge. Never ever talk to police.
I was driving down the street down the highway with a friend of mine who was white, and he's like, I'm just want to pull over and pee, and I'm in the passenger seat, and I was like, please don't, because a black man thinks differently. If I pull over to the side of the road and pee, a cop is going to be right behind me to punish me.
I actually would not pee on the side of the road for that exact reason.
What exactly are white people superior at?
Insecurity, pretending.
Jeez.
Fear, being fearful of nothing, being ignorant,
blame,
letting their egos control their every move,
Man, racist identified.
privilege, feeling victimized,
Playing the victim.
congratulating them.
Ooh, playing the victim. I might disagree with that.
Themselves over shit that they're incompetent at or that should have already been done.
They're superior at being dicks.
What exactly?
I mean, isn't that just like person to person? Actually, I'm going to throw myself up there because they keep putting subtitles. Does that cut me off? It probably does. We're the victims. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess like if you're a feminist, you can be a white person who plays the victim. But I don't see white people throwing that victim card out there very often.
Are white people superior?
Like this is very like, again, this is a horrible question. Like you're begging for racist answers when you ask a question like this, because I don't think if you ask 100 people, all 100 are going to say this is racist and I'm not answering the question.
You're at
Oppression, gaslighting,
lack of empathy,
intellectualizing.
Oh God. I just think like if we're talking about empathy here and you have a group of people who are, and this is more so the woke people and the activists, not the regular people. I think the regular people don't give two shits about this stuff. And they're kind of in a skewed group because they're in cuts in Seattle and like Jubilee's in Los Angeles, so they're already at like a very particular ideology. But like, oh my God, I forgot the question. I'm gonna have to go back. Sorry, I'm gonna go back 10 seconds because I lost my place.
Or that should have already been done.
They're superior at being dicks.
What exactly are white people superior at?
Oppression, gaslighting,
lack of empathy.
Okay, lack of empathy is what we were talking about. Let me try to pause it in a better place. People are not making weird faces. But like, if you have to say that we can't identify with a character because they're not a particular race, how are you gonna say you're more empathetic? Nick Cannon and his melanin theory, isn't Nick Cannon like a major racist who somehow was able to keep his job despite other people not, for doing very similar things? Divide and conquer. Yeah, it seems like even if we say like the woke activists who say ridiculous shit, like I think most people of all races aren't saying this stuff, especially in America. Maybe in different countries. There's more racist YouTube videos. I mean, there was that one where that girl was like, "Y'all white folks are demons. Give me PayPal money." Wish I had that one saved, but that was a pretty racist video. Like the Robin DiAngelo stuff is pretty racist too.
Intellectualizing, oppression. Did I say oppression? They're just creatively thinking of new ways.
And what do you mean by oppression? Like this, what did we make? We barely even made it through half the video. Like this could easily, like if I just went on tangents and rants this video could easily take up an hour of time. Because there's so much shit like that's just not well defined. Like, what do you mean by oppression? Like, it's not oppression is being able to like before where you were limited by where you lived or what community you grew up in. Now you can pick up a cell phone and learn whatever the fuck you want. So if you have bad schools or you live in a bad area, you can easily escape all of those areas no matter what your race is. So there's a lot of I guess copium and like I don't want to change, therefore I'm going to blame everything, when you have every single ability to get out of whatever bad situation you're in.
Ways of like always staying one step ahead of other people. If we get rid of slave catchers, then let's.
And by the way, like as someone who is I guess perceived white, because like Italians weren't white back in 50 years ago. They had all kinds of racism thrown against them, but there are no scholarships. Like if I had to go to college, like there's no scholarships based on race for white people. So you're only noticing privileges and you're when it doesn't benefit you, and that's kind of racist. It's kind of prejudice. Let's see. Let me read this after.
Just expand the police force. Like, that stuff to me is wild.
What was she
New
saying?
ways of like always staying one step ahead of other people. We get rid of slave catchers, then let's just expand the police force. Like, that stuff to me is wild.
You're talking about stuff that was like well over 150 years before you were born. Like, none of you experienced that.
What exactly are white people superior at?
Making us believe that we don't matter.
Believing that they're
Yeah, I don't know about that.
superior.
Feeling superior.
Thinking they're superior.
Thinking that they're superior.
Where are they finding all these white people who are like, I am definitely superior to all other races? I've only heard that from like the super alt-right or like the fake KKK member on TV shows. I've never heard an actual white person say that. Like, I want them to produce me one example. Yeah, let's solve racism with extreme racism. Yeah, it's like it's a typical thing where I'm gonna solve problems that you're doing by doing the exact same thing that you do, and like, holy crap, this is present in many other areas. Like, let's what is it? That's like a 1984 perception where it's like, oh, you guys don't want to change things, you just want to be the ones in power. So it's like the guys who are in power get replaced by the people in the middle, and then the people in the middle just do the same exact thing.
In that they are superior.
Self-delusion.
Controlling the narrative.
Believing their own press.
Marketing of white
That believe in your own, that might be true. Believe in your own press.
superiority.
Whether you are Republican, whether you're Democrat, whether you're conservative, like, white people are really good at upholding white supremacy.
What does that mean? That means absolutely nothing. Those are just a bunch of buzzwords.
How about claiming that, you know, they are actually a whole separate race, when actually white DNA comes from the black female?
Maybe, I don't know Gen X that well, but like, I guess like this book is like one of the most racist books I've ever read. In fact, if you have not read White Fragility, it's highly recommended if you just want to laugh your ass off for about 130 pages of like, people consider this shit science. Where it's like her, I probably said this a bunch of times, where Robin DiAngelo's only argument is that there's more people who are white than other races, therefore racism. But like, she talks about like being inducted into white society, like the Italians got inducted or like the Russians got inducted when they originally weren't, and people are trying to get in that special exclusive club. Like, I don't know, like, it seems to be today where it's like, I naturally came on this channel and said I'm Ukrainian, therefore I'm oppressed, to get privilege. I don't think that the privilege is in the white communities anymore. If it was there in the first, well, I mean, yeah, certainly there was lots of racist laws back in the day, but that's way before. God, it might have been even before Robin DiAngelo was born. How old is she? She's kind of old. Maybe it wasn't.
So what exactly are white people superior at?
Honey, lying, stealing, and cheating.
Manipulation.
I want stats for that.
Withholding information.
Lying.
Telling lies.
What kind of lies?
The lies of history.
I mean, like, everybody lies. There's some people who lie more than others. Like, does nobody who's black lies? Does nobody who's Asian lie? Do Latinos and Latinas don't lie? I'm sorry, Latinx. Am I going to called a racist for saying that? Or am I going to be praised for using a term that Latinos and Latinas find as a slur?
They say.
Or like Latinx, like that sounds like Phoenix and Latino put together. Like, how do we pronounce this? Latinx, Latinx? Like, Latinx sounds more racist, I think. But like, I don't think I've ever talked to a person who's been like of that culture, of that racial background, who's been like, yeah, I love that term. Everybody hates it.
That history is written by the victor, but the victor could be replaced by the colonizer.
What?
I mean, history is written by the victor, which means, like, understand that you have to be very, very suspicious of whatever history you read, because if your team was the bad guy, like, I think the World War II is a great example of that, where like we're crapping on Germans for creating concentration camps, and then there were Japanese concentration camps in America. So who was the good guy in that war. Certainly, if I were the bad guy, I would rewrite that story.
What are white people superior at?
Conquering. Imperialism.
Colonizing.
Colonialism.
Colonization. They might be better at that than us and everybody else, really.
They ballsy. They rose up all over the world, and they walk into everybody's house and says, "Oh, this is nice. I'm gonna take your shit," and they have no qualms about it. They can take anything, baby.
Yeah. I'm like trying to get him. I'm gonna go back because I don't like stopping people in weird faces.
This is nice.
There we go. That's less weird of a face. Something that people don't realize in general is that it's not attributed to a certain race who does the conquering. Every race has conquered every other race, either on the small scale or the big scale. And it's not the race, it's the assholes who take over politics. Like, if I can look and say that pretty much everybody in politics is an asshole, it doesn't matter what race that person is, you're going to get the same crap. Conquering people has been constant throughout history, and hopefully maybe it stops at some point, but we'll see. We'll see if we get out of this cycle of killing people because we want certain things out of their society, or who knows if wars are going to be even a thing anymore. It's much easier to manipulate people through mass narratives and stuff like that. Just give up their stuff. But it's not the white people that are doing the conquering. It's a bunch of assholes who run countries that we've all been trying to get rid of, and all been trying to figure out a certain rule changes that keep those guys from doing the horrible and evil shit that they do.
I'm gonna take your shit, and they have no qualms about it. They can take anything, baby.
What exactly are white people superior at?
They're real good at violence.
Genocide.
It's like stealing people.
I mean, like, I think these people are very uneducated on how violent history has been in general. Like, they do that. There we go. That's a less weird face. Like, I remember I had to take Chicano studies as much as I hate school, as much school fucks you over with classes that are useless. Like, my degree was kinesiology, which is exercise science. What the hell do I need cosmology for? Why do I need to learn that? I mean, it was like, cool, I learned about the stars a little bit in that class, but I could have looked up a YouTube video that taught me more than that class did because the teacher was terrible. Same thing with mythology. I don't know how your job was to teach Marvel movies for a living, and you suck at teaching stories that are the most popular stories throughout the past several thousand years. That class is boring as shit. Had to take that one too. And so like they screw you over with like lower division GE. Like you get out of your junior college and you're like, I got my GE certification. I'm never gonna have to take this crap again. And then you go to your state college or university and you're like, nope, you got to take stupid upper division GE too, and waste your time with that. So one of the classes that my time was wasting. By the way, I think I watched Stand and Deliver 3 different times in college. A movie I could have gotten for free. I had to pay $600 a semester to watch that movie. So anyway, I had to take an upper GE class called Chicano Studies, which is another class I had to watch Stand and Deliver in, where they talk about the Native Americans and how they were so egalitarian and peaceful. It's like, oh yeah, the same Native Americans where if you actually look at their history, they're like putting each other in torture chambers, enslaving each other, having wars and stuff like that. So history is a very, very violent story, and we've hopefully progressed to a point where we've gotten less and less violent over the years. How can I reach these kids? Yeah, basically. I mean, how many times has Stand and Deliver been made? Like Dangerous Minds, Freedom Riders. Am I missing one? In fact, I'm so tired of dumbass superhero movies. I want another Stand and Deliver type movie made. Roots, I haven't seen Roots. Is Roots a movie or a TV series? I've only seen that Toby scene that they make you watch in school. Though I've heard that like slavery existed so long because most slave owners were actually fairly nice. And probably personally, I think that we didn't get rid of slavery for moral reasons, even though it's more efficient to not have slaves. We got rid of slavery. Well, we got rid of slavery because technological innovation, the fact that forcing people into labor actually makes them work less hard, whereas convincing people into volunteering for labor makes them work way, way harder. And yeah, to a certain extent, where it's like if you worked on a farm your entire life and you're suddenly free, well, where do you go? So it's a little bit more of a complicated story than, yeah, of course slavery is wrong, but I don't think you couldn't retain workers if you were constantly like if you're in a farm where you've got like 50 different slaves and 2 people who are in charge, they would just beat the crap out of you if you whipped them. So obviously there was a certain level of falsely reported history in that case. And most people didn't own slaves. It was like a couple of people owned them.
Lives just because they feel like it. If you are white and you know this is happening and you say nothing, then you're a killer too. You are
I'm guessing he's talking about like colonization and stuff like that. I think if you're in America and you live in this country and you're allowing the country people to colonize, like, and you're not saying anything about it, then that's kind of the problem, no matter what race you are.
A whole
I'm sure I'll clip for that slavery statement. I'm waiting for that.
philosophy that says it's okay to do that.
Like the reason a horrible practice survived so long is because for the most part, it wasn't that bad, or people weren't treated that badly. So they're just like, yeah, we'll just deal with it. Like, I mean, there's still forms of slavery today. Like, you think the government taking 30% of your money every year is not slavery? And people are just like, oh, well, I can still sort of live, so I'm just going to be fine with having 30% of my money stolen. Actually, it's not 30%. It's more than 30%. It's probably like 60 or 70% of your actual money if you include all the taxes that you're like sales tax, property tax, any sort of minor fees that you pay. Like, do you get taxed on the internet? Like, you get taxed on fucking everything. And people don't call that out very much. AG must be racist because his hair turned white.
And part of that philosophy allows you to be ignorant, right? And they're like, oh, I didn't know.
What exactly are white people?
Yeah, but this guy just blamed white people for a problem that he could actually help solve. So if you're just saying, oh, it's all white people's problem to solve the wars and stuff like that, then, well, yeah, that's a great way to not take responsibility for a country that you have the power to vote in.
Superior at.
Taking what's not there. Taking shit.
Taking our ideas.
Copycatting.
Gentrification.
Taking ideas. What does that mean? Who owns BET, by the way?
Appropriate.
Who owns all the rap labels? I don't know the answer to that question, but I imagine it's not who they think it is.
Things that do not belong to them.
Taking over other people's cultures and making you believe that they invented it.
Maybe they're thinking.
I love how like there's this constant discounting of like, if we're gonna play the racial pissing contest of like, I mean, how many inventions were made by Western society and made by a particular race? Like cell phones, computers, microwaves, washing machines. So if we're gonna play the racial pissing contest where you can't use an invention that wasn't invented by your race, there are gonna be winners and losers there.
Again, as repurposing. It's like recycle and repurpose.
As my grandma would say.
Look, I'm pretty comfortable in that state, being white, and using only things that were invented by white people. I'm not sure if we're gonna say it's racist to use things that were invented by other cultures and races. That certain people would be happy with the technology that they get. Eminem is considered black and helped the rap game while rap game was having a drought. I don't know that much about that. Maybe that's true. I don't really listen to rap.
If the white folk, they'll take it if you don't copyright it.
They are
That's everybody. By the way, holy shit, the music industry is horribly predatory.
very good at destruction of land, destruction of people, destruction of humanness.
What exactly
Every race has done that.
are white people superior at?
White people are not superior with anything.
No.
That was actually again, probably a person who was trying to have a non-racist take. Like, hey, this question's kind of racist itself.
Nothing.
Nothing.
There's nothing.
Nothing.
I don't believe that they're superior in any way, shape, or form.
Just because our skin color is different, you're no better than me, you're no smarter than me. No superiority there.
Yeah, those were the only winners at the end of this thing, were the people who were like actually gave the non-racist answers. Like, sorry about that. People should not be considered better just because they're particular. I mean, that's one of the reasons, I think probably a main reason why racism is going away, is just because, well, Certainly people are trying to bring it back, but it's not really effective means of judgment of character or intelligence or personality just because someone was born a certain skin color. There are many other factors that go into that, and it's just inefficient. So let's read some super chats. Oh, jeez. Let's see. I'm trying to find out where I start. Great content over the years. Please keep it coming. Tekken. Yeah, I don't think I read that one. Tekken super chat $50. Thanks for all the great content over the years, friend. Please keep it coming. Thank you for the $50. Peter, $2 super chat. Thank you for they blame us for everything and was all us. I'm guessing like he's trying to say that that we were getting blamed for things that we weren't alive for. Like, I certainly wasn't alive in the 1850s. By the way, they don't talk about all the white people who fought to end slavery and died and spent their blood on ending a horrible practice. Drules Tekken Games, $5 super chat. By Robin's logic, if a white person moves to Japan, are they still racist? Good question. I'd like to see her answer that question in person. The entire concept seems based on geography and population density. Yeah, it just means like if I go to an Asian country, if I go to Africa, am I still racist if black people are the dominant race in Africa? I mean, certainly some horrible things have happened in South Africa. With some of this racial appropriation stuff. Oh God, is that German? Dankest TV Omen men? That's probably German. Oh wait, no, apparently not. $5 super chat. I'm Mexican American and I consider Latinx a slur. Ray Asmadou, probably how you pronounce that. $2 super chat. As a Cuban, Latinx makes me cringe so hard I can die. Team Matchless Mystic, $2 super chat. Please never use Latinx. The Spanish is already inclusive. Yeah, but is it like extra inclusive? Is it inclusive enough for a bunch of middle-aged white women who make all these stupid terms, who don't even speak the language? Like you're trying to change a language where every other word is gendered language, and you're going to change all the words in that language to by the way, a thing that is hard to say. Like, has anybody figured out how to say Latinx or Latinx or Latinx? You're going to make every word like that in that language? That's racism. Reese MS4, $2 super chat. Howdy. I love the use of the green screen. Eventually it just becomes a thing as opposed to a deficiency. The green screen. ZX Nova, $2 super chat. I wonder how these people would react to albino or an albino. I'm not sure entirely what that means. Oh, Nocti, $5 super chats. BET, imagine WET. People would lose it. Yes, they would. So who's the racist? If you're allowed to say black power, but you're not allowed to say certain other things and include the word power into it, how are the people who are being censored the racist ones? Benji, $5 super chat, or I guess that's a tip. Imagine if this was reversed and white people were complaining about blacks. This is so racist. It absolutely. I mean, I'm sure a million of people have said this. If you want to test if it's racist, just put any other race that's not white in the sentence, and if it's racist, then it's racist. Latinx. Yeah. I think hopefully people are finding out that forced labor actually leads to worse results. Which is why I don't get a lot of this stuff. I don't get like heavy taxation and stuff like that. Now, certainly in the past, people were complaining about like a small tax on tea, and that started a war. And we're taxed way more, but I think we can get it, or they can get away with it because we're way more productive and being taxed at like 50% of our freaking income, or which is probably more than that, by the way. Like, man, if you're in a place with state tax and you're self-employed, like I was getting screwed in California because I had to pay state tax, I had to pay federal tax, and self-employment tax. So like 45% of my income was just taken every single month. Like, how are you supposed to live on that? Especially with real estate prices increasing and stuff like that. Like, think of how much easier it'd be able to afford shit if you weren't income taxed like an insane amount of money for oftentimes things that you don't benefit from or things that you don't give a shit about. Okay. There was another one. I have to actually open up my little document here, and I don't know. Since I brought up Robin DiAngelo, let's go to what should now be considered like 4D chess racism. Like we're back to where we started, kind of racism. Like, I think Robin DiAngelo is quite possibly one of the most racist people on the planet. I'm actually going to bring up 2 instances of this because it's hard to... Oh my god. That worked? That did not work. You know what? That's my fault for opening this up in Google Chrome. Let's see if I can open this up with an ad blocker while still looking at the camera to make it look like I'm talking to people. Let's see. Okay, this is Brave. There we go. Block all those ads. Now my computer crashed. I think we should just skip down to the thing here. Put this all the way up.
The conversation has...
Why is that coming up? Oh man, this is why I hate mainstream media. The mainstream media websites is like MySpace, where you load up someone's page and like 14 of their favorite songs all pop up at the same time. Anyway, Robin DiAngelo said this. I'm gonna move myself here. Put myself over. Oh, that's gonna be racist because I moved myself over for a black guy.
Yeah, and what I would add is that in 2023, we have to see the ability to engage in these conversations with some nuance and some skill as a basic qualification. And if you can't do that, you're just simply...
Oh, this is the wrong one. There's a smaller clip. Here it is.
And then I'm a big believer in affinity space and affinity work. And I think people of color need to get away from white people and have some community with each other. And I'll let that go and maybe see if anyone else wants to pick it up.
Like, again, if you switch the races, is it racist? Let's read through this a little bit. Basically, like they're like they do like this. I mean, this is not the first time this has been done. A bunch of years ago. Oh my God, I feel old. This must have been like 2014 to 2015, where Harvard segregated graduations. Like, imagine paying like you work your ass off to get grades that are good enough to go to Harvard, and imagine paying what, like $30,000 a year, whatever Harvard costs, and then they do completely racist shit like segregating your graduation, and so like you're going back in time. Yeah, white fragility author wants people of color to get away from white people. Actually, I think that's pretty much the entire article. Like, there's nothing else to be said here. People can use March 1st in a webinar. People still use webinar? Is that a word people use? I had a friend who works for a particular company with the human resources department. He promised me that Robin DiAngelo was going to come and speak at his company, and I said, "Bro, I will pay you to go to that conversation, so I can see one of Robin DiAngelo's speeches." Unfortunately, they just kept canceling it. It's like, I will fly over to your state and stay there for one day so I can go to this conference, but unfortunately, I didn't get to go. That's a white dude. 860 base. What does that mean? White is a color, though. I mean, like, how many people who have been like, I guess, well, Robin DiAngelo just there was always some sort of gaslighting they have, like again, like this book's like, oh, you've been inducted, just to like, oh, forget about the Irish who were and the Scottish people who were severely discriminated against when they started immigrating to America. Forget about the Italians who were severely discriminated against. No, now none of your oppression matters. Like those 2 Italian guys who wouldn't they get charged with a death penalty because some chick said, I think it was those sleazy Italians over there who committed this crime, and they were falsely imprisoned for something they didn't do because of their race. People don't talk about that shit. Main character syndrome in the comments. Let's see. Did I miss one? It's Euro. Oh, I knew it was something. I'm still going to call it C dollars. The last man, 10 C dollars. It's Euro, not C. Actually, maybe I should call it euros because I think they're worth more than $1. It's Euro, not C dollar. By the way, multiculturalism has failed literally everywhere it's been tried. Just stick to your own. That is not my white supremacy, but should be common sense. Multiculturalism, by the way, is different different from racial integration, because you can be different races and have the same culture. I don't know why people forgot about that. Like, you do not want a salad bowl, you want a melting pot, because salad bowls, well, if I as a white person believe it's okay to walk in the house with shoes, and I go to an Asian house, we're gonna have a problem. Though Asians are right about that. You shouldn't walk in the house with shoes. It's a great way to make the floor dirtier faster. Reese MS4, $5 super chat. 100% agree. Segregated by color and preserved to preserve culture. Some woke person somewhere. Yeah, now that they've gone full circle and just come back to racial segregation. Not even, what, 60 years later? They've gone full Malcolm X. Did Malcolm X do as much violence as BLM? I'm not that researched on that. Just describe Hispanic countries? What, multiculturalism or multi-racial stuff? Oh, geez. Let me. I gotta turn the ads off on Brave because it just does that. Like, it makes that annoying sound, that annoying Windows sound. All right, let's have it not do that. At least it didn't get like 4,000 different ads from Fox again, like an old MySpace page. By the way, like, you can see the light behind this, and you can see the little thing that holds the green screen up. Is that going to show up when I take this out eventually? Yeah, I guess Opera doesn't do that shit. Maybe we should use Opera for this. Oh, but here's the better article. This just came out. This one's more readable. I was figuring the Robin. Maybe it's better that I went over the Robin DiAngelo one first, because that one was a quick one. Where is it? Okay, here we go. Should I go on Brave for this one? Oh, geez. I am going to go on Brave. We're going to hear that annoying Windows sound then, because I don't have Opera set up. Because, like, there's a header on CNN that takes out half the freaking article, and that just looks annoying from a visual perspective. So prepare for an ad in like 10 minutes, or however much time in between Brave does that. I thought you were gonna look like a nerd, but you low-key look fine. Yeah, I don't know, like, what's my hair is like extra wavy today. I didn't know how to fix that. Eventually, I learn how to do hair first at some point. Okay, let's throw this up on screen. Did you guys see this article? What's wrong with digital blackface? This very much sounds like, and why is it wrong when white people use it? Already racist, super racist title. This very much sounds like I graduated from college and I'm trying to keep my job, so I'm gonna make up whatever shit might sell. And maybe some of it's like outrage culture. Maybe this is not even a real person. I swear ChatGPT could have written this article. So have fun losing your jobs, assholes. Oh, maybe I shouldn't use offensive language like that. It's very off-brand for me. But, like, I don't know. Like, actually, there is one thing I want to show first before we read this article. Recently, for those of you who know Aiden Paladin is, came out with a fantastic video. Did you say you were going to talk about Emmy Ricci? No, I was just going to talk about her face reveal. Anyway, Aiden Paladin did a fantastic video on the victim culture and the victim narratives, using Eliza Blue as the example. And I thought she said something particularly interesting at a timestamp that I hope I remembered. Fantastic video. A little bit too long to watch the whole thing on stream, but I would highly recommend you watch this video, because it very well describes woke culture, victim narratives, and the whole, well, whenever they try to shift this crap back to the right, hopefully people won't fall for it like they fell for it on the left. So very well researched video on people who constantly have to claim that they're victims, and how they actually let me show this here, just so it's on the stream so people can see it. So if people can see me moving that, right? I think so. There, now you can see the title. Weaponized Victimhood, How to Exploit Trauma, her most recent video. Anyway, it has a fairly good timestamp somewhere around, actually let me do this again because I timestamped it on A Word document. Okay. Is very unprofessional.
Consciousness.
Anyway.
The higher one's interpersonal.
Let me go back like 1 second. There we go. Actually did it by 1 second. This would be the point, probably the point to use the green screen.
Higher one's interpersonal victimhood tendency, the less willing that person was to forgive. And TIV was the single best.
So she's saying here, because there's a lot of preference in here, so the more someone perceives themselves as a victim, because they're doing studies and they did like psychological profiles on all the people who participated in the study. So the more someone perceives themselves to be a victim, the less forgiving they are willing to be if they think someone who has like attacked them or put a slight against them.
Predictor of entitlement, the less willing that person was to forgive. And TIV was the single best predictor of entitlement to engage in bad, immoral behavior, followed only by motivation for revenge, indicating that people who see themselves as victims are uniquely prone to believe that they are morally superior to others and should be allowed to harm others when they are feeling victimized. That would explain why Eliza...
Well, it's just talking about Eliza Blue in this case, but wouldn't that explain that completely racist video that I covered with the... Where is it? Oh, I can't look at my own videos. That's just going to glitch. We're 1,000 to 1. I'm banned from YouTube permanently. Maybe that's why. Let's try this again. It's still not loading. Anyway, for those of you who watched that cut video where like the 3 complete racists thought they were the most victimized people in the world, and the girl with like the somebody said that either like Islamic is wrong or Muslim is wrong. The girl with the hijab on is like, well, I'm black and I'm in America, so everything sucks. Very, very victim narrative. One was like, I don't want to go work and I'm a victim, so I therefore deserve $1,000. Will I ever stream a $2 super chat from Thor? Will I ever stream benching 405? Gee, I'm lucky if I get to 405. My arms are long. The Last Man, five C dollars. There is very little difference between culture and race. I disagree. Cultures are like the vines ranking around biology of each given race realism Israel. Actually, for a reason we'll go over later in this stream, I don't think race is all that descriptive of what ideas you're going to form. I think that's more culture. Whereas my mind's $2 super chat. Thanks for bringing logic to all this chaos. Thank you. This one I already answered. And I already answered. Oh, good. I'm all caught up. So anyway. Yeah, very, very good video from Aiden Paladin talking about and using quite a bit of research to talk about, there it is, to talk about victim narratives and basically all the woke shit and basically the shit that they were using with conservatives back in the 2000s. They just reuse it, rinse and repeat all this stuff. There's plenty of proof that you can raise someone under a different, like they say, oh, you sound white or you sound a certain race. Yeah, because the sound that you use or you make is not limited by the color of your skin. You can sound like many different things based on where you grew up. And you can actually learn how to produce different sounds if you train a lot, though it's very, very difficult. Or where were we? Wasn't I going to... Oh, we were going to read the digital blackface one. That's for... I'm waiting to get a Brave ad at some point. Right, anyway... what is digital blackface and why it's wrong when white people use it? With the one of my favorite news clips here. Let's see. Maybe you shared that viral video of Kimberly Sweet Brown Wilkins telling a reporter after narrowly escaping an apartment fire, "Ain't nobody got time for that." Am I allowed to say that? Is that racist if I say that? I'm pretty sure it was faux that. If you're going to be specific in the language used there. Perhaps you posted that meme of supermodel Tyra Banks exploding in anger on America's Next Top Model. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. I don't really remember that one that well. Or maybe you simply posted popular gifs such as the one of the NBA crying Michael Jordan crying, or a drag queen RuPaul declaring "girl." What about the guy that goes like, is it like this, the thinking guy, or like the, I don't know, wasn't the hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your husband? Wasn't that a lot more popular than the Kimberly Wilkins? If you're, I love how it, right here. If you're black and you've shared such images online, you get a pass. Okay, you're cool. So Brittany, if you want to share any of these memes, you're fine because you're half black. Or maybe that doesn't count. Speaking of racism, the racism is mostly in people who are half one race, half the other race. Like if you want to talk about actual stuff. But if you're white, you may have inadvertently perpetuated one of the most insidious forms of contemporary racism. Wow, insidious, that's a big college word. You may be wearing digital blackface. Holy crap, that's very dramatic for something that's nobody gives a shit about. 1 second. The emphasis for emphasis. Too much umph. Anyway. What is digital blackface? Digital blackface is... Oh, let me kind of throw my things up there. So that's a bad cut. They should have gotten a better one of her. They should have paused it at a different frame, especially if you're going to go frame by frame here when you're selecting pictures for these articles. Very easy to get a better looking face there and not like some weird smirk or weird design there. Digital blackface is a practice where white people... Okay. So, like, if I'm Hispanic, I can't, or I guess Hispanic would be the wrong word. If I'm a Latino, can I not commit digital blackface? If I'm Asian, do I get a pass? Is it only white people are charged for it? I mean, you know why they're doing the white thing because those are the most polarizing narratives. Asians don't give a shit about this stuff, and largely, at least more so these days, the Latinos and Latinas don't give a shit about this stuff anymore. Thank God. So I guess it's just white people who can't use these images. So everybody else is fine. Digital blackface is a practice where white people co-opt online expressions of black imagery, slang, catchphrases, or culture to convey comic relief or express emotions. So what about all those people? What about all the white memes? What about the white meme with that nerdy guy? What about the is a black person allowed to post the I like turtles kid? So I'm surprised that the other people who are the most fair, empathetic radicals are all here to hit both sides of the equation, not be logically consistent at all. These are expressions of what one commentator called radicalized reactions and are mainstays in Twitter feeds, TikTok videos, Instagram reels. I guess nobody uses Facebook anymore, and are promoting most popular internet memes. So I think most of these memes got hit on MySpace and Facebook. A lot of these memes are super, super old. Imagine if you're like the guy, like one of the only things from BuzzFeed that I liked was that thing where it's like the I became a meme thing. And I remember one of them, they did like the thinking guy. Let me, just in case you've lived under a rock, let me show that guy. Because when I first saw this article, I responded with the, I'm probably getting the hand sign incorrect. Speaking of me and my terrible visual memory. Where is it? This guy. Oh, I didn't bend the finger enough. Let me full screen that. This guy. They did the expose on this guy, and like apparently it was just like some random stock image, and now you are immortalized because how old is this image? I think it's fairly old. Like imagine you were immortalizing culture for 100 years because you took a random stock image and a bunch of people shared it on the internet. That's probably going to be pretty cool. As long as you're not like the dork meme or something like that. As long as your meme is like funny or positive. Oh, let me throw that out. What did I already read? Digital blackface involves white people play acting at being black. Does that? No. What about the Michael Jackson eating popcorn thing? By the way, that's a pretty popular meme. Saying Lauren Michelle Jackson, the author of Culture Critic and the essay for Teen Vogue, Jackson. Oh, geez, another nonsense thing. I guess magazines are just trying to be as offensive as possible because they know nobody reads them anymore. Like I don't think I've ever. I can't remember the last time I saw someone purchasing a magazine in the checkout line. Jackson says the internet thrives on white people laughing at exaggerated displays of what the hell? No, it doesn't. White people laughing at exaggerated displays of blackness. That is 100% not true because the internet survives on porn, by the way. Everybody knows that. Which is kind of the problem in the first place, isn't it? Reflecting a tendency among to see black people as walking hyperbole. Is the Tyra Banks meme a commonly used one? I've only seen that one once. Like I've seen the other ones way, way more. If you're God, my reading's bad. If you're still not sure how to define digital blackface, Jackson offers a guide. She says it includes displays of emotion stereotype as excessive, so happy, so sassy, so ghetto, so loud. Our dial is on 10 all the time. Rarely black characters are afforded subtle traits or feelings. Here's why. These people are writers. They don't understand shit, and they're not very good at it too, because they probably are like, oh my god, I got a single out of my entire career after working at Starbucks. I finally got a single article on CNN or some shit where they don't get paid very much. It's literally an AI could do their job. So any sort of emotion that people are going to capture for any meme, no matter the race, is going to include some sort of extremism, because that's shit that's funny. Like nobody's going to watch reality TV if they get a bunch of regular people. They're always going to get the most deranged people they can find. What a luxury find. LMFL, digital blackface doesn't exist. Like, they're literally just trying to make things up. Anyway, let's go back to reading this article. Many white people choose images of black people when it comes to expressing exaggerated emotions on social media, a burden black people didn't ask for. What the fuck? Again, what? I want to sit down and meet the person who wrote this. A part of me has trouble believing that they're actually so messed up in the head that they believe this stuff. Like, they're so completely racist that using a meme is considered offensive. We are your sass, your nonchalance, your fury, your delight, your annoyance, your happy dance, your diva, your shade, your yes moments, Jackson writes. The weight, a reaction of gifting, period, rests on your shoulders, or should I say jiffing? Wasn't that thing where the guy's like, I'm the guy who's like, I'm the guy who made it. It's actually pronounced GIF, and everybody's like, nobody cares. It's GIF. Why is digital blackface wrong? Oh, tell me why it's wrong. Oh, sorry, there's got to be a way to do this while still looking at the camera and having it on screen that I can throw the mouse on. Some people say posting a video of Sweet Brown saying, oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire. Just for laughs, and my best, ain't nobody got time for that voice. Why overthink it? Why give people another excuse for labeling white people racist for the most innocuous behaviors? But critics say digital blackface is wrong. It's because it's modern-day repackaging of minstrel. Shows a racist form of entertainment popular in the 19th century, where white actors' faces darkened with burnt cork, entertained audiences by playing black characters as bumbling, happy-go-lucky simpletons. That practice continued in the 20th century on hit radio shows such as Amos and Andy. Yeah, that was a thing. Wasn't that a little messed up? But like, now it's like any sort of celebration of other races or any sort of comedy is like not allowed. Well, towards certain races. And nobody's going to bring up all the times that Dave Chappelle wore whiteface. Are they ever going to talk about that? Like, I'm offended when Dave Chappelle uses his white voice. That's our voice. Someone's posting moon runes. And expecting me to be able to read that. I can't read. Bro said it's... Oh, Jif, like the peanut butter. Oh, Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, I guess we can't have funny things like that. Like appreciating culture and being ironically fucked up on purpose because it's funny. Can't wait to get canceled for saying that. Funny when Dave Chappelle does it, but not funny when Robert Downey Jr. does it. How's that not a double standard? How are you the oppressed one when you're the ones who aren't censored? When people are obviously making jokes and not trying to belittle certain races. I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. Like, certainly if you're doing blackface to like make black people look a certain negative way because you're a racist, and then of course that's a problem. But these people are so fucked in the head that they'll say like, oh, geez, I should really watch my language here in case, because it's hard to do that live. Be more, but these people are so in their ways of thinking that they would call like Blazing Saddles racist. Like Blazing Saddles, a movie that's very much designed to like say, hey, here's how we properly remove racism out of the culture. What's this all bent? And they would probably call that racist. Even though it's a very, very non-racist movie about people getting along despite their different skin colors. Everybody's going to be posting moon runes now. Which is going to make no sense if the chat ever gets turned off. Okay. Put simply, digital blackface is 21st century Minstrelsy? Why use a word that nobody understands? At least put a dictionary behind it. Historical blackface has never truly ended. This is like, I need this right here is like, I need to justify my college degree. Historical blackface has never truly ended, and Americans have yet to actively confront their racist past due to this day. What are you talking about? Of course it has. The only times where blackface is not mentioned is when people like Jimmy Kimmel wear blackface because he is protected, or Sarah Silverman wears blackface. Speaking of two people who are related. In fact, minstrel, again, you need to define that word. People do not understand what the fuck you're talking about. Minstrel blackface has emerged into even more subtle forms of racism that are now glorified all over the internet. Wait, is this person Asian? Are they allowed to talk about that? Whatever, I don't care. They might be racist by their own definition. Wong says the digital blackface is wrong because it culturally appropriates the language and expressions of black people for entertainment. Dave Chappelle has done that, and plenty of other black actors. Did Key and Peele also do that? Are they racist? While dismissing the severity of everyday instances of racism black people encounter, such as police brutality, job discrimination, and educational inequity, yeah, I need you to prove all of that stuff. Just saying that doesn't make it true. Where is the job discrimination? Where is educational inequity? Where is the, I mean, what, like almost pretty much every instance of the, like what, they had years of Michael Brown who charged a cop and tried to attack him, and they're complaining that he got attacked back. What, the Jacob Blake guy, was that the name of the guy who tried to, who was in the process of kidnapping kids, had assaulted the person who called the police on him, and was in the process of trying to stab a cop. And then you have Kamala Harris calling this guy a hero. So is that unjustified brutality? Is this cop not allowed to defend himself when someone's trying to kill him? Taserface? Yeah, that one where that chick said taser a bunch of times and shot the guy. That was pretty messed up, wasn't it? That is more evidence that police are not trained at all. And it's really luck of the draw if you're going to get someone who actually knows how to use a firearm properly. So certainly issues that could have been talked about that were, by the way, being talked about. And people are saying like George Soros funds BLM. Wouldn't that be a great thing? As if in 2012, 2013, 2014, people were having a very, very strong police reform movement, and then BLM just goes and makes it all about race and then fucks it all over. Because there's a lot of crap cops do that is completely illegal, and they do it to everybody regardless of your race. Like how many searches and seizures have gone on where it's not legal for them to do so? How many cases where cops are severely undertrained have occurred? Where people have pulled out their firearms when it's not necessary, or people who are cops have shot firearms and missed a bunch of times. Missed a bunch of times and the person standing right in front of them. And by the way, when you miss with a firearm, you have the chance of shooting somebody else who you don't intend to shoot. Anyway. Did I read the rest of that? Whatever. Defining digital blackface isn't easy, okay? I mean, it seemed pretty easy when you started the article. It's like anytime someone uses an expression of a black person in a meme, that's digital blackface, right? So how's it not easy? Again, this whole segment here is someone trying to justify their job when their job has no place, and actually actively makes the world worse by increasing racism. In trying to define digital blackface, it depends on who you talk to. The standard for some is comparable to what one Supreme Court justice said when asked for his test for pornography. You know it when you see it. Okay. Isn't it well defined up here? Didn't we define some examples of Kimberly Brown, Tyra Banks, which I don't think that Tyra Banks meme was that popular. There's plenty of other, like Michael Jackson eating popcorn in Thriller is a much more popular meme than that one. Like, I imagine there was like 5 seconds of research done for this article. But I guess you know it when you see it. This guidance might help if a white person shares an image online that perpetuates stereotypes of black people as loud, dumb, did we already go this, hyper-violent or hypersexual. Isn't there like a whole group of media that promotes hypersexuality and hyper-violent as cool in the black community? Isn't that kind of the problem? Something I would call actual systemic racism, not like redlining, but massive media companies promoting criminality to particular groups of people to keep them down. And then they're cheering on those people who promote, drug use, gang violence, sexual promiscuity, and violence. No, they don't seem to talk about that much. Actually, they did talk, like the Boondocks talked about that shit. At least someone was saying something. Yeah, like most of rap is talking about super, super degenerate behavior, and it's specifically marketed to black people. You don't think that's intentional? And they don't talk about how that's incredibly racist? Like, how much does it take them to talk about, like, the CIA importing cocaine into black communities on purpose? Never talk about that shit. They talk about shit that's already been solved and was decades ago. Halford, a brand designer, wrote an apologetic essay in 2020 about how she made a meme out of Wilkins' "Ain't nobody got time for that" catchphrase, and someone sent a gif of the singer Beyonce repeating, "I'm not bossy, I'm the boss." Wasn't Beyonce a part of that "Don't Say Bossy" campaign? Like, oh, women are called bossy. It's like, geez, when men are in charge, they're called things way worse than that. You're lucky to get called bossy and not get called the C word or something like that. I've engaged in digital blackface, Halford wrote. I've laughed at people of color on the news facing horrifying crime and disaster and loss. Really? Geez, you're kind of a bad person. I've appropriated black trauma as punchlines and peeled off their faces to put on my own and say what I can say to make you laugh just because it went viral. Okay. Really? Halford, I mean, like, this just seems like, yeah, not that great. Like, you're laughing at horrifying, you're laughing at people losing things and being victims of crime. Wasn't there a particular event that happened recently where people were laughing at those who lost their lives because they fit a certain agenda? Halford tells CNN that she was bothered that she overlooked the context of Sweet Brown's interview. It was a funny interview. Who cares? And didn't it make that chick a lot of money? Like the hide your kids, hide your wife guy? Didn't he sell a bunch of t-shirts and get rich? So everybody wins. The woman had just experienced a tragedy. I guess we find it funny the way black people tell their story with so much flair, she says. Yeah, it's called character. But at the end, oh, is that what she's talking about in terms of tragedies? Disaster and loss? Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure that person was able to, if she marketed that properly, was able to make the money back from her apartment. Like, you don't just get a bunch of views and on the news and end up poor. Like I said, the guy, the hide your kids, hide your wife guy, made tons and tons of money off of that news report. But Halford says that he doesn't mean she won't use any more gifts of, oh, okay, so she's still racist. But still doesn't object to the Beyonce "I'm the boss" meme because she thinks it empowers women. Okay, well, there's certain ones we can use then. She says that as long as the meme or gift is empowering and not demeaning, you feel free to use it. But aren't positive stereotypes now racist? I don't know how stereotypes became racist. It's just a trend that happens in particular communities. Racism has to require some sort of superiority narrative, like this race is superior to this race because we were born this way. Saying that white people put mayonnaise on their food is not racist. It's a generalization that people noticed. No, I'm not suggesting that white people and non-black people refrain from ever circulating black culture, black person images for amusement or otherwise, she writes. There's no perspective or prescriptive step-by-step rule book to follow. Nobody's coming to take gifts away. Okay, so now it just means anything, right? Right? We're just talking about anything these days. People don't hate stereotypes just the one that put them in a bad light. Weren't these things supposed to be funny generalizations? Like Italians are good cooks? Okay, I guess that's fine. But like, how is saying white people like macaroni and cheese racist? Or this culture, oh my God, did you know that Japanese people eat sushi? That is so racist. Who the fuck says race equals culture? The only reason culture is affiliated with race is because groups that stick together are homogenized. Yeah, that's true. All right, anyway. Have I gotten canceled yet? For saying things that most people believe, that this is not racist, it's just posting a freaking picture? Especially when they're like positive ones. Is there anything else interesting in this article? No, not really. I think we're done with that. Hopefully I don't get another ad. In Canada, we call it Kraft dinner. Yeah, but it has to be made by Kraft. You can make macaroni and cheese. It's not Kraft. Let's see. The last man super chatted 10 euros. I always see you talking against stuff on the right or the left wing, but I never see you stand for something greater, a vision or idea behind everyday life quality. Don't I just talk about philosophy in every single video so people live better lives? I don't agree with that assessment. Albatross, $5 super chat. The definition of racism includes power and privilege. I'd say the definition should include unhealthy fascination, ideation, and preoccupation. Yeah, that wasn't the definition of racism when I was a kid. The definition of racism was a superiority complex. Like, my group is superior because of something that we were born with, and something that is not based in reality. Like the white people have bigger brains than black people, or something like that. And just because you have a bigger brain means you're more intelligent, which I believe is not scientifically true. But I don't know when like tendencies of different races became racist. Maybe that happened around 2010 or something like that. Let's see. Oh, did people see this? Speaking of how crazy some of these people are. Someone did the old TikTok trick where they just screen recorded with their phone.
If we actually grappled with the fact that sex negativity is what causes this type of behavior, then
She's talking about Cosby.
Create a world where, in a idyllically sex positive world, someone is able to pay,
Why is any of this ideal, by the way?
someone is able to pay conscious women to come and be drugged so that I can get my kink out, my fetish on having sex with unconscious people. There's a consensual way to do that.
Yeah, paid grape. How is that entirely consensual when like you can't afford food, so then you pay someone to drug you and do unhealthy things to you? Read Marx and that will be enough for you regarding your race theory. Marx was like, wasn't he like hyper racist? He was a slave owner, right? Another entitled rich kid, as far as I'm aware. Okay, so Jubilee did this video. Speaking of culture mattering a lot more than race, Jubilee did 2 videos on this, where it's like 7 people are in a room. This is the right one, right? Well, this is an inaccurate statement, not an accurate statement, because it's 6 black people and 1 white person. Oh, I hit my headphones in a second. Oh god, I might have to deal with that the whole stream. I guess I'm just gonna have a buzzing sound that none of you guys can hear. Yeah, he owned a slave. He had a servant that wasn't paid, that I believe he did some non-consensual activity with. Can people hear that that buzz, or is it, hopefully it's just me? I'll just have to deal with the annoyance. Okay, that culture matters a lot more than race. They brought together 7 black men, well actually 6 and 1 white person, and then in both of these videos where they try to identify the person of the other race, they fail. Okay, perfect. Where are my notes? Because these are specific timestamps I want. Yeah, I love that 4D chess racism where Robin DeAngelo's trying to bring back segregation. Okay. I'm just going to skip. Let me just watch the main premise and we can just skip through this because not all of this is interesting.
I'm black.
Oops. Well, make sure you guys can see it.
Black.
I'm black.
I'm black.
I'm black.
I'm black.
I'm white.
Oh no, one of them is white. All right, let's just skip to round 3, I believe. That's where the interesting shit gets said. This is where things like start getting dumb. Well, after this. Like, it's just so funny. People talking about real culture and they missed they couldn't identify the white guy because he talked a certain way.
Appreciate y'all.
My homeboy I was matching with is gone now, bro. What?
Ow.
When it comes to being black men, microaggressions, let's talk about it.
I got you right.
Microaggressions. Like, this is more... I bet you somebody... God, microaggressions have been around for, like... I don't know how to utilize the screen. It's too much work. Because you think, like, that's not cutting out this part of the screen, but whatever. Deal with it. Go watch the video yourself if you want to watch the whole video. It's not necessary that you see this bottom. Well, maybe I could do this. There. Now it's just... There. How about that? Now you can see the whole thing. Is the word bro a black word or a white word? Because I'm confused. Should we fight it out? Do some Dave Chappelle, like the... Was it the racial... What's the one they do, like the racial draft, where they like draft certain people that are like mixed race into certain races? That was a hilarious scene. Like which group takes Tiger Woods, the Asians or the blacks? Do you play basketball microaggression? Yeah, it's like somebody was trying to keep their job back in 2014 when all that crap started. And then they create this again, at the expense of other people, they create these super racist narratives just so they can make a little money for like a little bit. Like they aren't even making, outside of like Rob and D'Angelo, they aren't making that much money off these dumb papers that get people to mass repeat racism.
Here, man, I went to a PWI. Man, I be chill.
PWI. By the way, this is damned if you do, damned if you don't. Predominantly white institution. Can I read that from the screen? That's good enough. Whites account. Wait, are we allowed to say whites? Is it illegal if we say blacks? I'm pretty sure one of those is racist. And if one of them is, both of them are. Bro is an old Roman word. Is it? Am I allowed to say bruh?
In the corner, there's only 5%.
Being black man. Microaggressions, let's talk about it.
I got you right here, man. I went to a PWI. Man, I be chilling in the corner. There's only 5% of us, but somehow they find a way to take a picture of you for the dang
diversity.
For the diversity, right?
Well, that's representation, right? Maybe this guy's the one non-racist in the crowd or something like that. And he's like, this is stupid. Because aren't we all talking about, like, oh, center frame on this picture? Like, isn't Jubilee and stuff like that talking about, like, how they... Oh, oops. You can't see. How about up here? Jubilee's talking about, we need representation. You got wonderful representation here. A black person center stage. Asian person middle of the frame. Black person middle of the frame here. How's this one a representative? Is that person black? She looks like Samoan. So, no white people in this photo. Isn't that what they want? So now it's a microaggression if you represent black people. Bro was used by surf culture originally. Did I misrace her? I don't know. Did I? Is that no? We don't get in trouble for that yet. Once one grift runs out, you'll get in trouble for that. Never was a fan of taking photos, so I'm always inclusive outside of the norm. Yeah, so I don't get how it's like now offensive if you're being included. So are they going to say in 5 years that Little Mermaid being race swapped is now offensive? I actually think it should be offensive because it's tokenization. If I were black, I'd be extremely offended that they're not giving me original characters and they're just taking white characters and replacing them. Like, I would think that's very, very insulting. It would be like saying that black people can't create good stories. Which is these days, nobody can create good stories in Hollywood. Nothing good will ever get past until all of them lose all their money. Tolkienization. Somebody was during the I don't know if this ever made the show because I didn't watch it, but the Lord of the Rings Amazon show where they have dwarves that are black when dwarves live inside caves. You can't get black if you live inside of a cave.
I'm like, they only 5%. I gotta give them credit though, cause like finding us is gonna be a little bit tough, but like they found a way regardless.
I ain't even gonna lie, Loke. I'm real lost. We from the streets. I ain't even get that far, like college and shit like that.
Hey, we all got a different journey. That's cool.
Yeah, it's like the low-key racist thing.
That guy reminds me of Malibu's Most Wanted. Okay, that's in the proper place, right? I think we're going for a different time step now. Something I didn't know until the internet is this next one. I was so happy when I found this out.
Oh, you watch anime?
What you
like? What you like?
Dragon Ball Z for shows I with.
Absolutely. Holy crap. I don't know if it's like this when some of you guys were kids. When I was a kid, you could never ever admit that you watched anime. And now everybody's like, yeah, we all fucking watched Dragon Ball. That white guy's extremely ashamed. Don't be hating. So, oh yeah, there's actually another thing here.
Nah, y'all, Naruto, come on, like.
Don't laugh at me, but I love the Disney Channel originals. You know what I'm saying?
No, that was good.
Hey, let's watch
That's where they probably thought he was white.
a Disney Channel. Boy,
y'all know about that Static Shock though. Come on.
I was literally just about to say.
Nah, I'm saying superhero.
Static Shock was one of my more like Saturday morning shows, but like it was also on CW, and CW has a horrible history. So it's like a bunch of other shows that were bad would be around Static Shock, so I ended up watching like different stuff. But I remember liking Static Shock quite a lot. What happened to that? How come we got to keep changing up races of here? Why can't we put Static Shock in a movie? And don't let Zack Snyder write it.
Static Shock.
I met his voice actor, bro.
You did?
Film my dude is cold, dope, bro.
Wait, he voices every single black, everything.
And Samurai Jack.
Oh, that's cultural appropriation, right? He's voicing an Asian character.
Man's got range, bro.
Yeah.
He's got range.
Oh, it's range now. Isn't that racism? Did he voice Static Shock?
Hey, let's watch a film. My dude is cold, dope, bro.
Wait, he voices every single black, every single.
I remember that. Speaking of the Justice League, I remember that cartoon being good. This one here, but also a race swap character. I don't think I mind though. They do a good job with that show in my memory. The Snyderverse sucks. Yes, it does. The Snyderverse is a universe that has zero plot to any of their movies. It's all just background story with scenes that are unrelated to each other, that don't fill a bigger purpose, or like very generically told stories that are just like, hey, nothing's new in this shit, right? Like, seriously, I would rather watch... People memed on the Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds. Like, that movie was way better than any of the Zack Snyder shit. Like, I'd much rather watch Green Lantern and laugh at it than watch the Justice League.
Black, everything.
And Samurai Jack.
He's black.
Is that... I think that was all for that section. Oh, nope, it continues.
Range, bro. He's got range.
All right, I got a question because I feel like we just gonna be like
we gonna be vibing, man.
too much, yeah, right?
I got y'all after this. Even if you white, we gotta tap in for real.
Hey, you have to.
Yeah, you be like.
But okay, so
Why does that bother you?
you didn't have to point that out, bro. Okay, so in regard to dating and whatnot, my first girlfriend, she ended up being a Russian girl, and my dad he always used to throw hints like, hey man, you know, she's nice and all that stuff, and like he would never say it, but I knew like the upbringing he dealt with a lot of racism stuff, so he kind of had like the hesitance for like those type of relationships. Did your parents?
I mean, I guess. Like, if you grew up, and he's probably old enough to have grown up in that culture, but like I've never had to sit down and be like, oh, Sean, you can only date white girls with my parents. And as a white guy who's dating a black girl, we never had the conversation when she met the parents, like, oh, you shouldn't be dating one of them. Like, it just seems like, was he Marvin from Pulp Fiction? Maybe. Wasn't he? He might have been in Pulp Fiction, right? In the hamburger scene? I think so. It's been a long time since I watched that movie. That was a funny scene, though.
Or, you know, family members, like, say...
Like, I don't know, I'd be pretty mad if Samuel L. Jackson just ate my food. Which is why it was so offensive and funny. Also, as Samuel L. Jackson, I would not have eaten some other guy's food, so... I'm bad on both ends in that scene.
Hey, like...
I mean, my mother was from Shreveport, so, you know, she used to be on that. And she was older when she had me. She was already, like, in her late 50s, so she wasn't playing with none of that, really.
I don't think my parents ever put... They just want...
Late fit. Oh, man, that should have been the dead giveaway. His mother had him in her late 50s? Oh, man, they missed the shit out of that one. You should be in menopause by then. I missed it, too, so... This is, like, the third time I've watched this.
Want me to love who I love, but at the same time, I think there's always that underlying, like, you know, we would love for it to be a black woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's kind of racist, isn't it? Shouldn't it not matter? Exact same words when it's absolutely the same, yeah. Let's see. Oh, we still going? I think we're going to skip ahead a little bit. Yeah, so eventually that guy who just talked and Rob, Rob the white guy.
Sigh of relief.
We have a tie between Rob and Brevin.
Y'all hit that sigh of relief. Okay, I'm Brevin. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, like I said. I didn't have a traditional, like, upbringing as far as, like, dating a lot of different people because I am a queer black man, but it took me a long time to get there. But as far as home life, I had 2 parents, 2 older brothers, a little sister, super close. Yeah.
Oh, 2 parents. Oh no. Let the racism begin.
This is hard. I don't know. I'm black, y'all. I'm black.
My name Robert. I go by Rob. I'm from South Central LA. We bounced all around. It was just me and my mother, 3 sisters and 2 brothers.
Oh. Yeah, we already know who's going to lose here.
I've been in and out the streets, not too much school, and that's pretty much it.
When it came to Brevin, it seemed like he was privileged.
Again, I don't see how, like, as a black person, you'd be extremely offended that blackness is related to being poor, is what this guy just said. How is that not racist? Like, you must be poor to be black.
And I relate more.
Race preference isn't racist. Yeah, it's not racist in the person, but when your parents are saying you should only date a person of a certain race, that's kind of racist.
To struggle, hearing some of the things he was saying, it kind of, like, made me think and, like, second guess.
In my brain, I was like, this is probably just like one of those cases where he could be white and he's just a product of his environment.
Brevin, you can't vote.
I appreciate the try, bro.
It looks like we are tied again.
Wow.
All right, is that all the interesting stuff in that segment? Yeah, they did I miss something? Let's just continue watching. Let's see what happens.
Rob, just because I think I heard everyone else speak a little bit more.
I also voted Rob. First of all, you know, I'm just gonna say that, like, the environment he grew up in, you know what I'm saying? I think that, like, you know, that's just a case where he could, like, relate to a lot of, like, black people's struggles, you feel me? But he might not be, like, black in and of himself.
I voted for Brevin to get out.
Again, saying that he relates to him more because, like, oh, you're poor. You must be poor if you're black. How is this not racist? There are plenty of black middle class people. In fact, I live in a predominantly black neighborhood, and everything's fine. Everybody's middle class.
Not because Brevin necessarily said anything bad.
Like, I think they would be offended by the suggestion that you must live in the hood if you're a certain race.
But it was more so because of when Rob was talking. I felt like I was listening to one of my cousins talk. And he definitely sounds like he's from South Central for sure. Not a whole lot of white people down there. So
yeah, proof that culture matters more because his accent's based on how he grew up. Isn't it more classist? I don't know, not in the way they're presenting it.
I'm gonna say he stays.
Rob Black, that's it.
Yeah.
I know that's a fact. Rob Black, he sound like people from around my way. So no offense to you, Brendan, but you gotta kick rocks.
I hear it in Brevin's voice too, though. Like, that's the thing.
I hear it in both.
I hear it for sure.
But Rob, like, I feel like I could say certain things to Rob and he pick up on it quick. If I say certain things to the other, it's like, is you gonna really relate or?
Yeah, because your voice different, I can't relate to you. So doesn't that just mean all this is bullshit? All of it? They have a white guy who has the culturally black voice, and then these people somehow connect. That just says, oh, we can actually connect with people who have different skin colors. They're out there saying it. Like when I watch Into the Spider-Verse, and I watch Miles Morales, who is not white, I can somehow relate to that character and say, oh, what an interesting story. What a character that's gone through hardships and struggles. Yeah, it's kind of hard being new at something and having people expect a lot of you. Isn't that going to drive anxiety? Character's not white, somehow related to him.
You know, I
no
think
disrespect,
that...
What
does hit a lick?
I don't know what that means. I might be too white to know what that means. All right, anything else interesting here? For some reason, they start talking about like culturally black things that are predatory. Somebody mentions taxes. I forget why, but like I'm all for lowering taxes to all races, because taxation is theft, and I don't know if it's necessary, but certainly there should be a lot less of it. Things tend to go a lot better when people can decide how they spend their own money, as opposed to a massive corporation called the government deciding how to spend your money. Let's say organization. Corporation might be the wrong word. It's still centralized power, which is the exact problem all the woke people have, right? With all the big like Bank of America, Amazon, don't they have like a bunch of problems with the like massive singular units owning everything, but they'll just give it to the government? It's complicated, it's okay. Wasn't there a guy who, like an Asian guy who did a video on like reverse racism and like what it's doing to black people? And I saw like a bunch of people in the comments being like, oh shit, I didn't know things were like that. He just repeats like tons and tons of anti-white racism clips over and over again and then talks about it. I was like, if I can find that video in my history in a reasonable amount of time, I'll throw it up on screen so you guys can go watch it. Yeah, props to Spider-Verse for making the black Spider-Man another character instead of black Peter Parker. Yeah, that's why people are more accepting of Miles Morales, though I think he was getting some shit too, but I never minded that character. Like, I like the different take on Spider-Man. Like, he's not... Oh, shit. Thank God that wasn't on screen. Always worried about, like, throwing up personal information on screen. Let's see if I can just type this in. Is it going to find it? Yeah, here, this is it. It's called What Are We Doing to White People? And I'll just throw this up on screen real quick. And I'm not going to throw it on stream, but if you guys haven't seen it, this went viral a while ago. Yeah, 3 point. Oh, wow. This has only been out for 2 months. I feel like it's been out a lot longer than that. But pretty decent video on that. Somebody was mentioning it in the comments. Yeah, go and watch that. We need taxes, but we don't need to pay 2,000% the price for Humvee parts. Oh, I mean, there's so much waste in like... I just remember, like, this is what got me into socialism when I was a little kid. Okay, I guess in college. That's a little kid for me. Is that they would expose things like the military spending like 10 times the price. Like they'd take a screw or a bolt that's like probably 25 cents at Home Depot, and they would pay like $11 for it. Like there's so much waste in that. And so I was like, oh yeah, well, communism seems like a good idea when you frame it that way. But then it just turns out that everybody's assholes. And so what we really need is a system that makes it hard to corrupt everything. Like we need to make it harder for corrupt people to get power. That's all you need to do. Can confirm college students are still little kids. Did I say this on the last stream where like I went to in my junior college, which should never be called community college? I agree with Adam Carolla on that. You should be as belittling as possible when you say community college. So I like to call it junior college. When I was in junior college, or high school with an ashtray, I was asked in a psychology course, the teacher asked people to raise their hands, and a class where people were ages probably mostly 18 to 25. Raise your hand if your mom still does your laundry, and like a disturbing amount of people raised their hand. Their parents are still doing their laundry. Back when I was in college, when I was an idiot socialist. Yeah, they would flat out promote communism, not social. They started off as like democratic socialism, but then they would bring communists in to go talk for their speeches. It's like, yeah, they'll just. I mean, imagine if they promoted fascism as a topic and why that's good. It's basically the same thing. French flag keeps saying Latinx as a reaction to DNA test. I was doing my laundry by 9. Like I don't understand how you make it to 18 and not know how to do laundry. Unless like apparently like New York would be your only excuse because nobody does their own laundry in New York apparently, according to Brittany, because it's super inconvenient. So you can just pay a service to do it, and it's actually not even that expensive from what I was told. Like it's more expensive to sit in a laundromat for 3 hours while your shit gets dried. Yeah. Oh, well, I got one more thing on this one. Let's hear Rod's backstory. Let's hear where he came from. The streets of Malibu. Let's see. They're taking off their blindfolds and find out they lost.
Hold on, wait. Rob.
That's Rob. That's Rob.
I'm Brevin.
Brevin? Yo, what's up, Brevin? What's up, y'all?
Big ups to you, yo. Big ups to you. Hey, yo. Of course, there's been like a couple white boys who cool, but like not like Rob. Like that was different.
My name is Robert, but they call me Milk. I'm from South Central. I got adopted at 7 days old as a baby.
I don't know if I could walk around with the name Milk.
Like out the hospital to a black mother. So I was raised with her ever since 7 days old.
That's crazy.
My whole family.
I think if they put a character, well, I guess nobody remembers Malibu's Most Wanted though, do they? But like, if they put a character like Rob in a movie as like a fake character, they would call it like cultural appropriation for black and be super offended. The real people are like, oh wow, I didn't know.
Family was black. I didn't.
I like how good the vibe is in this group. Yeah, it seems like they're mostly regular people, but a lot of times some of these narratives bleed so much into regular culture that people will just believe racist things without even knowing it. They would otherwise wouldn't have believed. And they're getting unracismified right now. Like, hey, maybe someone doesn't need to be TBYS. Maybe someone doesn't need to be my exact skin color for me to be relatable. Whereas like 3 of them said that this guy who's not my same skin color is relatable because of the way he speaks. I should rebrand it to Milk and make ideas less corrupt. No, I don't know about that. It seems like you're looking for an acronym like SHIELD.
I didn't even know I never met the other people until I was like
that's dope.
grown. My upbringing was a little strange. I was the only white kid at every party, every birthday. But that never really like bothered me, I guess.
Is it hard for you to fit in with white people?
Oh, it was. It's getting a little better.
What about for black people then? Is it easier or was it more difficult to get along with black
Nah.
people?
I mean, that's all I was around my whole life. Right. Jail, county jail, juvenile hall, everything.
I don't know. Again, like, why do you have to be around jail and juvenile hall and criminality to be black? Like, isn't that horrible branding? And like, people will like, how many people do you know in jail and things like that to certify your race? I don't see how they don't. And these are main. It's not like these are happening personally. A lot of this is just in mainstream media stuff. I don't see why they don't call that racist. Like, can you show a black person who's middle class? Or do they always have to be gangsters and criminals?
Party, everything.
And your whole family, like, they just all accept you? Because I got sides of my white family that, like, they wouldn't even hold me as a baby because I had a black dad.
Nah.
That's pretty racist.
Oh, nah, I had a good family.
Since my mom married a black man, they sat shivets for her, which basically in the Jewish community.
Wait, are they white or are they Jewish? Guy's name is Rosebud.
It means that
Are Jews white people now? According to Whoopi Goldberg, they are.
And it's almost lone feeling that you get sometimes when you feel like you can't relate to anybody.
I was like the baby, low-key, like the youngest one.
Wow.
Like, he straight up told on himself when he said his mom was 55 when she had him.
What is a misconception people have about black men?
Put us in a box that basically states that we're always angry or mad. There's a lot of happy black folk in the world. Like me personally, I'm happy.
We're not as monolithic as a lot of people would make us out to be.
We are bankers, we're lawyers, we're doctors.
We all.
Yeah, look at Brevin, the guy who got thrown out for being not black enough, is saying that, oh, hey, we can not live on the streets. We can be bankers. We can be lawyers. We can have good jobs.
All originated from Africa. We all, because you're further away from the equator, it doesn't matter.
Black is beautiful.
Could I say that as a white person? They literally judged someone for not sounding black enough? Yes, they did. Didn't they? Let's go to the white one now. Ow. Let's hold on a second. This one makes white people look bad. I think so. Let me throw this up here. I'm just gonna skip into the rounds. It's 6 white people versus 1 secretly black person, and this is one of the questions they ask. This is very like, if Dave Chappelle was writing this Jubilee episode, he would have asked this question. If I don't know, if this is the exact timestamp, but
No, I said baked rolls.
Who said dumplings?
Is this Elizabeth right here? Yeah. Elizabeth said dumplings.
Oh my God.
All right. Now, what did you guys, and I think this is the burning question
Okay, here it comes.
we've all been thinking. What did you guys think of Black Panther?
I actually didn't watch the movie.
Shame on
That's
you.
really sad because a lot of people said it was good.
I wish it was a little bit more gory. That was very popular.
Brandon.
Among people of color, it's a great movie. I loved it.
If you watch Black,
I don't know, low-key, that sounds a little like, that sounded like a microaggression to me. It's very like infantilizing black people. Oh, it was a popular movie with black people.
Panther, that
You must have watched Black Panther if you're black. Oh my God, I did not notice this shit when I watched that movie, but Brittany and I had a conversation about it, and she was like, Black Panther is the most intentionally racist movie, or the most ironically racist movie that she's ever seen, where it's like the super intelligent black race of people, they all live in huts and they make gorilla sounds. So did people notice that?
make you white or black.
Black Panther was very like, it didn't really take any risks. It didn't do anything like super great. It was like a very watchable movie. I'd still watch Black Panther over any DC movie. I would rather watch Black Panther 10 times than have to watch the Justice League once. And people are saying Oonga Boonga and stuff like that. Like, yeah, that movie was like super racist, right?
Like that was a huge movie.
One person saw Black Panther. Not a lot of people did, but I did that for a goof.
Oh, I've seen Black Panther. Disclaimer, loved Black Panther. It was iconic.
Not really.
I didn't see Black Panther.
You said Star-Lord?
Liar.
Star-Lord, yeah. I really
What are your
did.
guys' favorite books?
I don't really.
She's like trying to be very stereotypically white. Oh, you guys read books, right? Now I'm offended. Hashtag not all white people read books. Though I've read a lot of books. That's another one. I'm waiting to be canceled for this video. Black Panther is the marvelous Marvel movie I've ever seen. Is that what you're trying to say? Or maybe saying the only Marvel movie I've ever seen?
Black people do yoga too. Come on.
I do yoga too. It was just horrible timing.
So I'll start since
Yoga is a very, very white person activity, though, as a person who's done yoga and taught it for a bunch of years.
Where Anna was. This is Brandon.
Wait, so is the mole gone?
That's what I kind of thought it was Kylie.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey, what's up, man?
No, I think Elizabeth, this girl here, the mole, is actually a fairly good one. She plays this role pretty well, and she also does not get caught.
Okay.
Miles Morales is Peter Darker from Eric July. That's funny. Eric July actually trying to create black stories. I need to go. I bought his comic, but I didn't read it. I need to go read that. I don't like buying like first editions of things because then it's like, well, I want to read the whole story right now. So I think I might wait till part 2 comes out and then I'll start reading Isom, I think it's called. But I had that sitting on my bookshelf.
A cop pulls you over. What do you do?
It literally just happened to me like 2 weeks ago.
Was it for speeding?
It was the privilege. He saw the privilege.
He just like, up, white. I'm not gonna pull this guy over. I made the wrong choice.
You could smell it.
No, it was actually my front license plate. He's like, I'm just gonna give you a warning.
It really bothers me that I'm like, when somebody is actually getting pulled over for doing something and they're not getting ticketed, but somebody of another race could get pulled over for the same thing and they would get a ticket, you know?
Yeah, well, that entirely depends on the situation. It entirely depends on how the cop is feeling as well. That's why you keep your fucking mouth shut anytime you interact with police. And that has worked. I mean, I've been pulled over quite a number of times. I've only been ticketed twice. Because, and every time I was pulled over, as far as I remember, I was breaking the law. Like, I had one time I was in Venice Beach. And there's a segment of Venice Beach that is not clear whether it's the street or a sidewalk. And I was driving on the sidewalk. And not only was I driving on the sidewalk, I was straight up speeding as well. I think I was going like maybe 35 on a 25 zone. Did not know. I was lost. I'm not sure if this is before smartphones, before I had a smartphone. I can't remember. So I got pulled over by the cop. He's like, they give me like, do you know why I pulled you over, crap? I was like, no. And I was like, hey, how do I get out of here? And I was just super, super polite. And they're like, yeah, hey, you were speeding. You were driving on a sidewalk. Don't do it again. And they let me go. But if I'd been like, fuck you, bro. Go to hell, pig. They would have ticketed my ass. They might have even put my ass in jail. You always play. Sometimes you get, for the slow roll, you mean like a stop sign? So, yeah, anybody who's like mean or rude to cops is incredibly stupid. Always be nice. Never say shit. Say as little as possible. Don't let them search you. Or say, I don't agree to the search. Actually, you should let them do what they're going to do. Rolling stop. Everybody has rolling stops in California. Nobody does those in Texas. People actually follow the law here, unfortunately, so. Texas is a lot slower in that specific aspect. One thing I do like about Texas is that during school zones, people actually slow down. Like in California, it'll say like 20 miles per hour in school zone. And everybody's just going like 55 in the school zones. In Texas, people slow the fuck down for that. They're going like 15 in the 20 zone during school hours. Watch the Chris Rock video about this. Is there a Chris Rock video about that? Oh, I think there is, yeah. Yeah, I do remember that one. There's plenty of those videos going around, like not just the comedy sketch from Chris Rock, but like how to interact with police. They 100% work. I've drifted in a corner, around a corner in front of cops and gotten off with a warning. I ran a red light in front of a cop and they didn't pull me over. I've actually done that multiple times. Maybe I'm just lucky.
He gave you a warning?
Yeah, he gave me a warning.
You're white.
That's so racist.
If I were to be honest, I've gotten followed home in my town so many times, and they're doing it because I'm one of few black people in my hometown.
If you're being followed, how does he see your race? Do they know your car, or how small is your town? I mean, again, Jubilee is filmed in California, so unless this person flew over, I don't see how they could possibly know who you are from the back of your vehicle. And maybe there's just high police presence, which I don't know. There's a lot of police in this area. I don't like it because I see them pulling people over for like nonsense. Like someone blew a stop sign at 3 a.m. and they get pulled over. Like I'm really uncomfortable with things like that. Like They better be committing a crime or close to be committing a crime before they get pulled over. Pulled over for smoking a illegal substance that I might get demonetized for saying. Always been pretty cool. Can they smell it?
They should know me by now. Like, there's a few of us.
They should.
Come on.
They should know you. Again, how small is your town? Seems like most towns are probably big enough to where it's like you don't see the same person all the time.
Cody.
Yeah.
Okay, I got your name right.
Seems like if you say if you pay attention to the color red, you'll just start noticing red cars everywhere that you didn't previously notice. It seems like it's that sort of situation.
Why are your hands sweaty?
I would watch Black Panther over Watchmen. Yes, I would watch Black Panther over Watchmen because Watchmen has that same problem. It's very, very boring. There were some good scenes in Watchmen, like the Rorschach scene. And honestly, that's the only one I remember. I tried to watch it again, I think last year or 2 years ago, and I got bored and turned it off. Like, you need to actually have interesting shit in your story and then not make it 4 hours long. And unless you're holding, like, what, Avengers Endgame or Avengers Infinity War. And Infinity War is like 2.5 hours, or 2 hours and 40 minutes, or 2 hours and 50 minutes. Like, that shit was entertaining the entire time. So, plenty of ways to make long movies, but long movies where nothing's going on, lots of the scenes can be removed, you're not really sure who the main character is or the main characters in the story. Like, stop doing shit like that. I really tried to watch Watchmen again. Dr. Manhattan seems like kind of an asshole, though.
Because I'm blindfolded, and I think that's like an
say?
Like, there's a few of us. Come on.
Cody.
Yeah.
Okay, I got your name right. Why are your hands sweaty?
Because I'm blindfolded, and I think that's like an
So you're anxious. You're a little anxious.
I believe this is a very non-racist end. Let's just skip to it. They lose.
Just collect my coins. Oh,
I was suspicious of Elizabeth for just 1 second.
Whenever she would talk, it was something stereotypical white, that of the white people I know.
I came here to collect my coins.
Oh my gosh, this is my dream. Oh my gosh, this is literally. Oh my gosh.
They give you like $100 or something like that. They don't look like they give them that very much money, which I'm wondering like how they produce income off of this stuff, because like what, these get like a couple million views. I mean, that's some sort of income, but they got to pay a whole production staff. They got to pay the prize money. Is it all just once? Is it just like $200? Because when I offered like $1,000 for that, if anybody of the obese people from that ob went out and Jubilee could beat me in a race, I'll give them $1,000. I think that's actually more than what Jubilee pays.
Thank you.
Being blindfolded for so long was way weirder than I thought it was going to be.
My race is human.
When it comes to race, you really can't judge a person based off what they like, a song or artist or food that they enjoy.
Isn't that true? Uh-oh, trigger discipline. Anyway. God, my hair's bothering me. No, I think it's like this. Did I do it right? I don't think I did it right. Oh, did I miss any super chats? I did not. What a lucky day. Nocti, $10 super chat. Hand-me-down characters Disney. Which ones? I didn't watch Disney. I didn't watch the CW either. They tend to like not have really good shows. Like Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon was always better before all the woke shit. Brand, $2 super chat. There are two lanterns, Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. Is there really a lantern named Jon Stewart? Jon Stewart, an almost based person, but went back into wokeism. Last man, another $10 super chat. Thank you. Weirdly enough, in every culture we observe the same socioeconomic hierarchy. Am I allowed to say some of this stuff? Yeah, I'm not saying the rest of that message. That sounds like it's not YouTube safe. So, F's to the rest of that message. Thrill Seeker, $5 super chat. Love your channel. Your intelligence shines through your analysis. You're so cold on your foes, you make them die froze with cold hard truth. Yeah, it's really easy to do that in a scripted video. Though I try to be less, we'll see, less accusatory and less name-calling and live videos. That's something I'll have to actually practice. Usually what I do in the writing process is just write the most offensive thing I can think of in the first draft and then just change it to kind of get it out of my system. But certainly people who have a lot of streaming practice should be more careful about things like that, especially when they're trying to have a debate or a conversation, because the worse you treat your opponent, the more you radicalize people who are watching you. So you always want to try to treat people as well as possible when they ideologically disagree with you. Or we get more of the same shit, and we get that situation where it's like, oh, you're doing the same crap these people are doing, you just want to be in power. There's plenty of that going around. TPOI skinny legend. I'm not skinny. I'm like fat right now. People are gonna see my when I go off of bulking. That hey, you were fat back in March or something like that. Speak Japanese? No. I was gonna say. You should check out the It's Okay to Be White video. Let's throw that on screen really quickly. The only gripe I've had on this discussion is lack of nuance when it comes to comparing races at times. Very much logical and well thought out content. Don't have to see eye to eye on everything, but respect the work. Yeah, there's certainly like a lot of nuances culturally that it's going to be hard for different cultures with different colors to understand. But certainly, like, the obvious racist stuff should not be occurring. Like, if you're going to say that white people can't do this certain thing, it should also be unokay for other races to do those things. Or it's all okay. And maybe it's just comedy and you should shut the hell up about it. White. Oh, this video? Am I getting in trouble for this video?
No, that's not okay.
Jeez. I wish I knew about this before this video.
It's terrible to be white.
It's just a matter of color, and color shouldn't
Is he in New York? He's in some sort of city.
come in the way of anything.
That seems pretty fair.
It
New York seems like a pretty great place to find super racist takes. So Brittany and I went to Times Square to see some of her friends in New York of like October or November of last year, sometime around Halloween. And we were walking out trying to get to the train station, and somebody tries to hand her a rap CD, and we're like, I don't want it. And he's like, oh, you guys all don't want it because you're racist. And I don't know. Anytime someone gives off like homeless energy or something like that, you want to give the kickback. Oh, hey, the obvious thing is like, she's black, shut up. Is don't ever engage with people like that, because they're just gonna come at you with stronger energy. So we just walked by. But it's like, how am I racist for not accepting your rap CD that you're trying to throw at me? Why do people keep asking me if I sing? No, I don't sing. This has been a consistent question. Maybe Brittany's encouraging people to ask that. I listen to hip hop daily, and I've turned down random mixtapes. Yeah, I don't want your shitty mixtape. Like, if you have to hand it out on the street, you're probably not very good. Where's your SoundCloud? Where's your YouTube channel? Like, if you're sitting there putting up flyers for your YouTube channel, you fucked up. The CD rap stuff is a scam to get your wallet. Well, good thing I don't give a shit. So I didn't fall for it. Maybe. My headphones are Audio-Technica. My microphone is the YouTuber microphone that everybody uses. Shure SM7B. What the hell's the Thug Shaker? Did we go over that last time? Maybe it would have been more appropriate to go over it on this one.
It's very fair.
A lot of people that we would speak to today would call what you're saying racist.
Yeah, I am racist.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Actually, respect. She admitted it.
Everyone, James Klug here. Today I'm in Los Angeles, and we're going to be...
Oh, Los Angeles. Yeah, this guy's brave for going to Los Angeles. I can't believe it looks this nice. He must be in like East LA or something like that. Los Angeles is a giant shithole. As a person who used to live in California, like I would, once COVID happened, I would refuse to go to Los Angeles. Like certainly like going to like Little Tokyo would be nice because you can get like a lot of cool Japanese stuff there, but like not after COVID. It really went downhill after that.
Finding out if people think it is okay to be white. Now,
Let's see yourself.
It's over at iTarget for sponsoring this video.
Thanks, iTarget.
No, that's not okay. It's terrible to be white.
No comment.
As she eats McDonald's.
Yes.
It's okay.
Like one of the things I skipped over was like they attributed blackness in that Jubilee video to whether you drank Kool-Aid as a kid or not. And I'm thinking like, or how you made Kool-Aid as a kid. I'm thinking like, why the fuck are you drinking Kool-Aid? Kool-Aid's terrible for you. It's basically just sugar water.
To be black.
Really don't care.
Yeah, it's okay to be any color.
Okay. Some of these people are cool. Probably most of them are cool. I'm sure he just showed the most offensive ones.
It's okay to be white.
Disagree.
You disagree?
Oh, I was waiting. It's like, I want a white person to say no.
Yes. I mean, that was a hell of a question.
Yeah, because it's okay to be black. It's okay to be orange. It's okay to be pink.
Thank God these takes aren't terrible.
I don't even think that should have to be a question. We
Exactly.
live in a really odd time where we have to ask that question, you know.
Y'all got too much. Yeah, y'all got too much leeway.
So I'm sure you can always find these two people, but I bet you if you question most black people, they would not give a shit at all. I think, well, however this, I'm not going to sit here and play this whole guy's video. If you want to go check it out, look at that. That's what it's called. But you can always find, you can always find people like this, but I'm sure the vast majority of people do not agree with this stuff, and they're obviously like picking the most radicalized people to speak on these narratives. Even with like probably talked about this last time, even with the trans stuff, I think most of the trans people are kind of pissed about this stuff. Most of them are probably closer to Blair White than they are Dylan Mulvaney. And they don't like all the attention. All right. That's been 2 hours. It's about time to wrap this up. I think I got that super chat. Anybody have anything cool to say in the chat before I stop? Yeah, Blair White, as far as I've seen, actually a genuinely good person. Someone who, I forget the situation. You have to ask Brittany Venti that. Fucked up on a take, actually apologized for it, and then gave reconciliation. Don't remember what exactly that was, but people who watch Blair White probably know what it is. So I've met her once. Seems like a genuinely good person, especially with her behaviors online. Go to the gym, yeah. Everybody hit the gym. For one takeaway from this channel is that, especially considering last stream, is you should be trying to be as attractive as possible. Not only will being as attractive as possible get you ahead in life, because it doesn't just help with dating, it helps with literally everything. It'll help you get jobs and shit. The things that are attractive are also genuinely healthy, or typically pretty healthy for you. What's my favorite exercise? I hate all exercise. I do it because I have to. Like, I don't like exercise, but I like the results of exercise. I like being able to pick things up and actually run more than 5 feet without getting tired. So is the Thug Shaker something that went viral or something like that? Yeah, a lot of people have been asking in this stream if I'm the actual person who does the scripted videos. Yes. Discipline, do it even when you don't want to. Yeah. I mean, we aren't in a place where physical activity, especially me, especially if you have a desk job. If you have a desk job, you 100% have to work out. Like, you will get unhealthy super, super quickly if you don't move around. If you don't have like even when I worked retail for a little bit, which that walking around the store and restocking shelves and picking up heavy shit, that's still technically working out. When I taught yoga and worked out all the time, like those I was fine. If I missed a day of working out, like it wasn't a big deal. But you start missing days of working out when you're working at a desk, like you're gonna have some issues. All right, that's probably about enough. I'm just going to say bye. Let's see if I can actually end this one properly this time. I ended it improperly last time. And I'm probably going to watch this video afterwards and see if it's good. It's unfortunate I didn't hear about it before the stream. And I always forget how to do this. I think I turned it off from Google. Last time it didn't take, like I clicked the button and it didn't work, and I had to click it several times. Maybe it's because I had 2 different instances of it. Yeah, that's why. Let me close that one because it's old. Oh yeah. Also, watch Aiden Paladin's video. This is a really good video. It's a little long. Watch it on your commute to work, or watch it while you're working out. But it says a lot of research about people who take victim narratives, and surprise, surprise, shocker, they tend not to be the best people. They tend to be some of the most evil people and willing to do some of the worst shit. Oh, maybe we should put this over here. Oh, there's a reason why I had it up over there. YouTube does that great thing where it, like, shows your AdSense when you open up the studio. Wish they wouldn't do that. All right. Oh, great! I got the. Of course, this one got demonetized. I'm not even sure if I'm going to appeal it. We'll see. Anyway, once I figure out where the right button is, we'll end this stream. All right, bye.